Hello, my name is Monica. I am a longtime YouTube enthusiast and new to content creation, but I'm having a lot of fun. And my goal for this channel and this space is to just make things that make me happy, are topics that I'm interested in, and I love the community aspect of being able to connect with people who might also be interested in, whatever the subject might be. So if you do want to subscribe, I'd be happy to have you back in this space and interact with you in the comments and everything. I plan on making videos about all sorts of things, lifestyle, beauty, skincare. I'm really into nails, so we'll just see what this channel becomes. And I'm not taking it too seriously, but I do just want to have fun with it. So today's video is going to be me going through my Sephora wish list, which I haven't touched in many months, up to maybe a year. So it's been a long time, and in that year I have gone through some life changes. I've moved around a little bit. I moved in with my mom to save some money, then with my partner, and then my partner and I moved out to another state, and we got engaged. We're planning a wedding, so I've been in a lot more frugal mindset. I've also, over the past couple of months and year or so, have been just reconsidering what I find valuable and reevaluating the kind of a consumer that I want to be, being a lot more intentional, and the concept of quality over quantity, but quality not just in the sense of like, oh, whatever the most high-end thing is, that's the thing that I want. I just want things that meet the criteria that I have for myself. So I thought it would be fun to go through my Sephora loves list, which is just like, I use it as a wish list basically to see what's on there, because it's been a long time since I've seen what's on there, and also to edit it to take out the things that are no longer interesting to me, maybe add some things that are newly interesting to me, but maybe not, maybe just a fresh start, and we'll see. So I'm gonna start screen recording on my iPad. Let me do that. Okay, and here we go. I'm logged in. So let's go to the heart, the wish list, and let's just dive into it. Should we start at what's at the top or what's at the bottom? Let's start at what's at the bottom. These are if you've seen some of my makeup collection videos, which you're free to go check them out on my channel, I do have lots of makeup, and I do consider myself a makeup enthusiast. However, I am getting to the point where I more so just want to surround myself and use the kind of products that work for me and are exciting to me and aren't just necessarily what's trendy or what a lot of other people are talking about or like. Not to say that what other people talk about and like doesn't deserve the hype or anything, but just sometimes there's things that are trending that they just don't fit in with my lifestyle or my aesthetic or whatever it might be. So just trying to have a little bit more of a discerning and edited and intentional approach to how I spend money and what I buy and bring in to my collection. It shouldn't, that's already probably a problem referring to it as a collection, but yes, into my belongings. So here we go. The hourglass, there's a couple of hourglass. I have a lot of hourglass already. I do think that the ambient bronzer probably is something that would be a future purchase for me. And I don't know about the blush. I have been starting to lean towards liking things that are a lot more sheer, less pigmented, and these hourglass powders, in my experience, are like that. I have a bronzer already, though, that is that sort of very lightweight, ethereal, easily blendable, barely there bronzer, and it's by Bare Minerals, and I really like it, and I have plenty of it still. So I'll keep that on the list as something to maybe replace the Bare Minerals. I don't think they make that one anymore, actually. So maybe this could be a contender for replacing. I'll keep the blush on there. So this is something, the Luna Sleeping Retinoid Night Oil. That's something that was really trendy probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And I had put in the half size into my loves list, as you can see here. And I think I remember I got a sample of it. Yeah, I did get a sample of it from Sephora, which they put in like a tiny little pot container that was very small. But I got maybe like 1 week of use out of it. I highly recommend going to Sephora and asking for samples, by the way, especially of skincare, because, you know, it barely costs them any money and it could save you money. I found that I liked what the night oil did for me, but I don't think that it is as active. I don't think it's as effective, even though it has the name retinoid in it, and I could be completely wrong. But I think it's more so like marketing. You know, it throws in the word retinoid because retinols are so popular and trendy, but I don't think it has that much like oomph behind it. I don't think the active ingredient really does the sort of thing that a prescription retinol cream does. And I do have a prescription retinol cream, so I'm gonna remove this because I just don't think it's a good fit for me and what I'm looking for these days anymore. So let's remove that. Continue. Okay. This is interesting. I'm looking at this for the first time, like I said, in a long time. The Beauty Light Wand, which is out of stock, not surprisingly, is something that I don't think I would be interested in purchasing anymore. It blew up, and I still see it being very popular. And when I see the effect that it has on people's skin and how makeup artists apply it or regular makeup wearers apply it on themselves, I do like it. I appreciate how it looks so stunning on a lot of people, but I just don't think it's a good fit for me. First of all, I like my skin to be dewy, and I find that since I like that already, usually whatever base I have on is kind of luminous already, and I don't need that extra like metallic shine. And the Beauty Light Wand looks like it's not so much metallic, but it does kind of approach that. And that's just not a look that I'm looking for these days. So I'm going to remove that. There we go. Okay. Next we have the Origins Clear Improvement Charcoal Honey Mask. It has a lot of good reviews, and this is something that I could consider getting a sample of. Sorry, my dog is looking out the window, probably sees a squirrel, so if you hear any whines, that's what that is. I think I'm going to leave it on there. Face masks are something that are intriguing to me. I find them valuable when I have them and use them. This isn't something, probably none of these things are things that I need right away. I do have some face masks, but I like the idea of it being a more gentle, but also like clearing face mask. Like the charcoal to draw out the impurities and kind of dry things up, but also the honey to be soothing. So this is still intriguing to me, and I want to leave that on there. The Flawless Finish Setting Powder is like a cult favorite. I have to admit that I'm still intrigued by it. I'm gonna leave it on my list, but I don't think it's something I'm gonna purchase even in the next couple of years because I have a lot of powders and I don't use powder very often anyway. But I want to leave that on there because it is still something that I hear such good things about that I just want to see for myself if it is as amazing as everybody says. Briogeo stuff is... It's very intriguing to me. They have a good marketing, if you ask me, and a good approach to marketing, and the reviews are okay. It looks like it's only 4 stars for them. I have a good friend who's a hairdresser, and I asked her about Briogeo, and she had never heard of it, which means that to me it means that it's not really something that professionals or people in salons are using. Maybe that's just her though. But I am intrigued enough to leave them on the list. It might be something that when it's time for me to try a new shampoo or conditioner, that I would give Briogeo a try just to see if it is a good fit for me. I like the branding is like, it comes off to me as very simple but effective, kind of more straightforward, not lots of like frills and claims that maybe it doesn't, that it won't live up to, but yeah, we'll see. I will leave those on there. Okay. So yeah, by the way, all these things were added in 2018. I'm just noticing that. Now we're moving on to 2019. And it's funny how I still am interested in a lot of these things from so many years ago. Now I'm looking at the Fenty Sunstalker Instant Warmth Bronzer. I am gonna remove this from my list only because I've been using the Salt New York bronzer. They're kind of like cream bronzer, and this is also cream bronzer. Is it? Maybe it's not. This might be a powder bronzer. I do think this is a powder bronzer. I guess, yeah, okay. I remember when this blew up, and I remember specifically the color Into Sun just looked so good on a lot of people who were my skin tone that it was intriguing to me. I definitely don't need any bronzers anytime soon, but if I did need one, it would be one that I would consider just based on the color and the way that it works for people of my skin tone from what I've seen. So it would be something that I would go in store, I think, and swatch and see. So I thought this was the cream one and I was going to remove that. But since this is the powder one, I'm going to actually keep the powder one on here because I don't currently have a bronzer that's a powder bronzer, that's a pigmented powder bronzer that I feel like really works super well for me. The one that I have right now is a mini of the Benefit Hoola, and I'm trying to work through it just because I don't want to waste it, but I do find that the color is a little bit too warm for me. Whereas this, I think, goes a little bit more kind of like red-green, kind of more neutral compared to like the orange that's in the Benefit one. So I'll leave that on there. Let's keep going. Okay, I have a bunch of these, well, at least two. I think I might have some more up on here, but these heavy metal glitter eyeliners from Urban Decay. I'm gonna remove these. I do really like to play with glitter and to have fun glitter moments, and I do have Urban Decay Space Cowboy. I think that's what it is. Their glitter. I find that this like delivery system of the glitter, the eyeliner delivery mechanism, works really well, not only to create like a line, but also just to spread it out. And whatever that kind of like medium that it's suspended in is sticky, but it dries down very well and it stays secure on your eye. And I like that. So I do like these glitter eyeliners, but I don't think that I need them on a wish list. If I ever saw them go on sale, for example, or if I was specifically like dying to get a particular color that's maybe trendy or I want to experiment with, or it's for, I don't know, a Halloween costume, a special event, the fantasy self, then I would just go look for it, and it doesn't need to live in a loves list. I don't think I need to be reminded that, oh, this is something that you want. Let's keep going. So I have the Bobbi Brown Crushed Liquid Lipstick in Smoothie Move. I do have, I think, Juicy Date in the Bobbi Brown Crushed Liquid Lipstick, and I like the formula. I'm really into those balmy lip formulas, and this is one of them where it's kind of glossy, but it's not sticky glossy in the sense where like your hair will stick to it, or it moves around. If you touch your lips, it'll like, get on there. It's more just so like self-contained. I don't know. It's like a film over your lips, which doesn't sound good, but trust me, it's good. I really like the Rowan liquid lip balms, and the Bobbi Brown ones remind me of that a bit. The color Smoothie Move, however, I don't think is something that I would get a lot of use out of, so I'm going to remove it. I think I would wear Juicy Date more, or I tend to like to have options in the kind of lip formulas that excite me. Like I have all of the Rowan liquid lips, but I don't use them all very often. I usually go for the same one or two. So yeah, I'll remove that one and see if it ever makes its way back on there, but it probably won't. The Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. That is something that I do want to keep on here. It's very intriguing to me. I hear great things about it. Amanda Z here on YouTube, she really likes it, and the way that she talks about it sounds like it would be a good fit for me and what I like in a foundation, which what I like in a foundation is something that looks very skin-like, doesn't get dry or flaky, and has like a medium amount of coverage where it doesn't blank out my whole face, but it does, excuse me, where it doesn't blank out the whole face, but it does do a good job at evening things out. So I'm going to leave that one. These Hourglass Scattered Light, I have a couple of these and I do really like them, and I think I just kind of get into that, like, what is it, like, I never watched Pokemon, but it was like gotta catch them all. I get into that mentality. I think a lot of us do, where we like this one specific color in this formula and we're like, wow, this is my favorite, I just have to have all of them. And sometimes having all of them is more fun, and you do get use and equal use out of many of them. But yeah, with this one, I definitely don't think that it would add that much value to my collection. I have plenty of beautiful eyeshadows, and so this I don't think needs to, I don't know, there's just something about it that's hard for me to remove it right now. I have had my eye on this color, this Aura color. I've swatched it in store many times, and I guess if it ever went on sale, for example, it would be something that I would jump on, but $30 is a lot of money to spend on one single eyeshadow. I guess I'm just gonna leave it. I feel comfortable enough leaving it and knowing that it's just something that would be a low priority to add into my cart. It would be one of the last things that I add into my cart. And again, this is me making a wish list and thinking about shopping with a budget mindset, that I don't have unlimited money to spend on makeup. So whenever I do have a bit of budget available to spend on things like makeup, what are those things that I want to buy first? That's how I view my wish list as. What do I want to buy first? And this definitely wouldn't be one of the things that I would want to buy first, but it is something that I would be happy to add to my collection. So I guess I'm going to leave it on here. I'm just going back up here to compare. I have Diffused Heat along with Incandescent Electra. I feel like they probably would look very similar on me. I'm gonna remove Diffused Heat. And I'll leave on the Incandescent Electra because the Cool Peach sounds like a little bit more flattering to my particular tastes when it comes to blush. And again, these Hourglass blushes are just, they're so attractive to me. I know Hourglass is a very controversial brand, by the way. And I'd love to hear if anybody wants to chime in on their thoughts on the company and how they feel about supporting them with their dollars, and if they, you know, deserve to have support from the greater kind of like beauty community, because I do really care about companies that have strong ethics. And I know that Hourglass has come into, I know that Hourglass has, their ethics have come into question. So I love to hear from the people affected by that, because I'm not one of the people who is affected by their lack of a diverse color range and things like that. And I'm still kind of forming my opinion on whether or not I should buy from them in the future. So please feel free to share if you have an opinion on that. I'd love to hear from you. Moving on, the Bite Beauty Changemaker Micellar Foundation. I watched Samantha Ravindal. I'm sure many do. And she was a huge fan of this when they came out with it. And it immediately went to my love list. And it stayed something that I'm pretty interested in. However, I see that it's half off, and I hear rumors that maybe it's not going to be made anymore. Maybe they're going to reformulate it. I don't know. I don't know. What do I do? This is just a love list. It's not that serious, but I'm just going to take it off because I think there are other more intriguing kind of like sheer like tinted moisturizer bases out there that I would rather try before I try the Changemaker. So I'm going to remove it. Keep going. The Pat McGrath Permagel Lip Pencils. Miss Kathleen Lights here on YouTube hypes these up so much, and I have to admit I'm a sucker for it. The way that she describes them as being very creamy but very long lasting is super intriguing to me, and I do think that one day I want to experiment with trying out the formula. So I'm going to keep it on my loves list. It isn't something I'll be buying soon because I have plenty of lip liners to go through. But once I'm through those, I think I would give these ones a try. They still are intriguing to me, even in 2022, and I added this in March of 2020, so that's interesting. So this must have been right when these launched. The Selena Gomez Rare Beauty line, and specifically the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation and the concealer. I think I can definitely remove the concealer. The foundation, I know they just came out with a new foundation and I haven't watched any reviews. I'm curious though. I think I'm going to search up a review that compares both formulas. Maybe I would get a sample of both formulas to see which one works best for me. But I do like the idea of having a very quick, kind of convenient, the doe foot applicator, which might be kind of controversial because sanitary reasons, but I'm gonna leave this one on here just to remind myself to look into it more. I've also heard really great things about the brushes, and I'm gonna leave those on there too. I do think that the tools that you use, I do think that the tools that you use make a difference in how your makeup looks. That's not to say that you have to invest in crazy expensive tools. Certainly not. A beauty sponge, which is a very cheap thing that you can get at many drugstores, I think applies a lot of things very beautifully. But there also is something to be said about using a high quality brush, which can be just kind of like, you don't have to wet it. You can kind of spot clean it a little bit more easily. And so I like the idea of incorporating brushes and incorporating high quality brushes into my makeup routine. So I'm going to leave those on there. They would be a low priority purchase though. Okay, we have the Bite Plumping Lip Gloss, again on sale. It's out of stock. They're probably done making this, so I'll just remove this. I am a fan of lip gloss, and I love trying out lip gloss formulas. I love, seeing the different kind of textures and the different scents or tastes that they have. And the kind of different, like, you know, hydrating lip glosses and balm lip. Excuse me. Okay, the tripod fell and I have to like hold it with my hand, so the frame is going to be weird. But let's just finish this up. My food actually just came, so I'm going to try to speed through the rest of it. I probably should have been speeding through it from the beginning anyway, but I'm going to keep on the Kogendo Aqua Foundation. Again, this is something that Amanda Z really talks about. I'd love to try a sample of it. She raves about it. It seems to have okay reviews, but the way that she talks about it makes it seem like it would be a really good fit for me and my preferences. The Charlotte Tilbury Sophisticate Quad. So expensive. Probably not worth it, but it's staying on my list, and I will tell you why. I actually did order this and returned it because I found that the formula just like blended away. That can be good sometimes, but it blended away in a bad way. It kind of just like felt like it poofed off of my eyes and it didn't stick. But I've kind of been keeping it on this list because I feel like if they ever reformulate it, it's just like the perfect collection of colors. Like they have a warm tone brown, a cool tone kind of gray, and then a medium neutral brown with a light color for like a brow bone highlight, and they're all matte. And yeah, these colors are just, to me, they're very beautiful and nuanced. And I'm going to keep this on my list just for that reason. But it wouldn't be something that I would buy until maybe I heard better things about the formula. These Volupte Shine lipstick balms. I don't know why they're so intriguing to me. I guess it's just that YSL in general is a very, you know, it's like a luxury brand. It's well marketed. It's beautiful packaging. I do have one of these and I like the formula, but I just don't find myself reaching for it a lot. I think because the one that I have, and I don't know why I did this, probably because they didn't have this one in store or something like that. The one that I have is a little bit more like deeper color, not something that I can just easily match with any look. And I think this nude sheer spicy warm beige would be something that would go with more things. So I'm going to leave it on there. Maybe that's ill-advised though. The Necessaire hand cream. I love Necessaire. I am so sucked in by their marketing. I have the body wash, the exfoliant. I actually want to do a review on some of those things, and maybe I will. Some of them I think are overhyped. But there are some things that do feel very special. And so I'm going to leave this hand cream on here. And maybe it would be something that I would try in store and make up my mind. I do have very notoriously dry hands. After I wash my hands, After I wash my hands, I just have to moisturize. And so I do go through hand cream. And I'm picky. I'm always looking for the ones that don't leave your hands sticky. They sink in, but they don't sink in so much that your hands are dry again after you just moisturize them. So I don't know. Let's see. Continuing on, we're going to leave that on there. We have the Eyes to Mesmerize Oyster Pearl. I'm going to leave that on there. It has almost like a cult following at this point, and I do think it's a very nuanced, sophisticated, and beautiful color, and I do like this formula. I do have, I think, like a rose gold one that I do really like. So I'm going to leave that on there. Okay, we have the eye, lip, and brow pencil in completely sepia. Sepia? How do you say that? Katie Jane Hughes, who's on Instagram, she might be on YouTube occasionally, blew these up. And she's a makeup artist, and for good reason. I think that these artist color pencils are very versatile. The colors are very dialed in, and I do recommend them. I have what is it, Endless Cacao, I think, which Katie Jane Hughes blew up. And I do like it. I like the texture. So I'm going to leave this on here. Again, it would just be something that I pick up to replace a color that I already have, or if I was specifically seeking it. It's definitely not something to just throw into an order to try out. I would be very intentional about waiting for the right time to add this to my collection. Oops. We have the Contour Sculpting Powder from Natasha Denona. This looks very beautiful. The packaging is very beautiful. The color looks fine. It just looks like a regular contour. I don't contour too often. I don't go for a very snatched, like fully made up look very often. It's very infrequent. So I think I can safely remove this. Okay, this is my YSL phase apparently in 2020. I remember ordering a like collection vault, one of the spring sales of YSL lip products, and I tried a bunch of them out and I really liked them. The formulas are impressive. I think that they're good formulas. And the colors can be very beautiful too. Like this red, this bright red just looks gorgeous. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to deal with these. I don't know how I feel about these right now. It seems like, for example, here's what I'm thinking. $38 seems like just an exorbitant amount of money to spend on a stupid lipstick. But again, for my collection, I am after those things that make me really happy, that they're special formulas or they're special packaging, or they just make me feel, they put like a fire in my belly kind of feeling. And I do feel that way about these lip products, but it is hard for me to contend with the fact that they're so expensive and that I could probably very easily find these colors in a different, more affordable formula. So I'm going to leave them on here to just remind myself that these are colors that have been intriguing to me. I know that this product is exciting to me and it puts that fire in my belly. It definitely wouldn't be something that I'm like, yeah, let's just get them all, because that just seems irresponsible, like irresponsible spending. But I'm okay with leaving them on here just to refer to them, and maybe to even refer to them in a dupe search, you know, looking for these kinds of colors in a more affordable formula. Same goes with this vinyl cream lip stain in the Psychedelic Chili. The Kaja Beauty Bento Trio in Toasted Caramel. I can't remember. Do these have those special shades? It looks like they do. I'm going to leave this on the list because I have a couple of the Beauty Bento trios and they're stunning. I think that, I mean, maybe they are accurately rated. Like, I do hear people talking about them. But yeah, I think that they're stunning, kind of more topper shades. And I'm going to keep this more brownie trio on my loves list. It would be something I'd be happy to have and play around with. The Skin Illuminating Powder Duo is something that I saw Katie Jane Hughes using, and it looked fantastic on her. I think it's just overkill for me. I think it's a little finishing step that I just frankly wouldn't bother fussing with and wouldn't really use. So I'm going to remove that. This Versace perfume is something that I remember. I remember specifically that I saw Kathleen Light's post about, she's very into astrology. I saw her post about the best perfume for your sign, and I'm a Gemini, and she posted this for Gemini, and I remember reading the notes and thinking, wow, those sound really good. So I'm going to leave this on here to remind myself of the notes that were exciting to me. But, you know, perfume also is just very expensive, and I'm trying to work through some perfume samples that I have. So again, as with many of the things on this list, I wouldn't be buying them right away, that's for sure. But I'm happy to keep it on the list to remind me that it's something I was once interested in and to maybe explore again in the future. I don't think they make this anymore, so I'll go ahead and just take it off. I do remember when Katie Jane Hughes was using this Power Matte lip pigment in the color Spin Me, and it's gorgeous. And I don't have a very deep brown lip color, and sometimes I find myself wanting to use that in like a very vampy and fun look. So it is something that, well, I guess I'll leave it on the list, even though it doesn't look like they make it anymore. I'll leave it on the list to remind myself that that's something that I was looking for. Um, and we'll see if maybe there's any dupes or alternatives out there. Okay, now is where I have a bunch of the Sephora collection brushes. I'm not really ready to review these or contend with them right now, so I'm going to leave them on there and just skipped past them. I already did my little spiel about brushes and how I feel about them. The Sephora Pro collection is a little bit more affordable compared to other high-end brushes, but they're by no means cheap. They're not drugstore prices. But I do find the ones that I have are good quality. They work very well. So if they were to go on sale, and they often do, they would be brushes that I consider purchasing to add to my tools collection. The Airbrow, I can remove this. I can safely remove this. I remember it when it first launched. It was very hyped up, as many things are when they first launch. But I have very stubborn eyebrows that just don't seem to hold. And I don't think that the Kosas one is strong enough hold from what I can see other people using it and demoing it. So that can come off my list. I use the Refi one right now along with the Nude Sticks one that Kathleen Lights hyped up. And those two are just, they do the trick very well. They are stronghold, and I need that stronghold. So I probably just continue to use specifically the Refi one. I really like that one. Here is a sunscreen. I think Jessica Braun here on YouTube brought this sunscreen to my attention, and I'm going to leave it on there. I'm always on the hunt for a good sunscreen. I really love Asian sunscreens because I just find them to be so cosmetically elegant since they're able to use those filters that aren't approved over here. And so this one, I don't know if it's as cosmetically elegant, but the fact that it's SPF 50 is very intriguing to me. I tend to try to go for the higher SPF because I know that I don't apply the amount of product that leads to the advertised SPF. So I feel like I need to compensate for that by going for the higher SPF rather than an SPF 30, which is typically recommended for day-to-day use. This Lancome mascara, I don't know why it's on here. I can't even remember adding this. It must have been popular at the time. I don't even know why it's on there, so I guess I'll just remove it. I tend to just prefer using drugstore mascaras because they dry out, and I don't like throwing away an expensive mascara. I tried out the Ilia mascara a couple of years ago, and first of all, I didn't even love it that much, so it hurt that I spent so much money on it and I didn't return it in time. So I made myself use it up for a long time, and every time I used it, I was like, I just prefer different formula than this. And then, you know, it went bad before I was able to use it all because I don't wear mascara every day. So I think that drugstore mascaras are definitely a better fit for me. And I don't find that the performance is that different. The Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint, I actually did end up buying this, and I do like it. So it can be removed. This lip treatment balm, you know, I haven't heard a lot about it. When it came out, I was excited because I do love the Laneige lip sleeping masks. And I thought, like, wow, this is an even more luxurious one. I'm going to leave it on the list just to remind myself to check it out in store. And maybe I would search some reviews to see how people talk about the texture and how hydrating it is. I love a good lip balm, a good lip hydrating product. I have plenty right now. I won't be buying one anytime soon, but I'll keep this one on the list to consider in the future. There's another brush, and now we get to more high-end lipsticks. Hannah Louise Poston, one of my favorite YouTubers, loves the Gucci lipsticks, and I can see why. The packaging is stunning. The colors are very unique and kind of dialed in. And so I'm going to keep these ones on here. As I've said a couple of times, these are luxury purchases for sure, and they're something that I wouldn't just spend frivolously on. I would be very intentional, but I'm going to keep it on my loves list with that in mind, that it's just not something I'm going to be kind of spontaneously adding into my cart. It would be something that I would either save up for, or if I just was in a different financial situation and my budget allowed for me to be a little bit more spendy. I'll keep this YSL one as well for the same reason. This brush was something that Kathleen Weiss was using, and every time I saw her using it, I was like, I want that. I love a stipple brush for bronzer specifically. I think that it applies bronzer beautifully. It was out of stock. It was on sale. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but I'm going to keep it on there. I'm very intrigued by the Makeup Forever brushes because, again, I'm excited about investing in brushes. So I'll leave these expensive brushes on here, but they're definitely something that I would want to do more research on before I commit to making a purchase purchasing them, excuse me. Okay, we're getting to the Pat McGrath blushes. Remember when these launched? They do get a lot of good press. Khaki Loves Beauty, or I think that was her original handle, but Khaki on YouTube, she loves these, and I think she has like almost all of them, and she talks about the colors being very nuanced and dialed in. Like I've said about some of these other more high-end luxury brands, they do tend to have kind of more special colors, and the formula, from what I hear, is very good. I have so many blushes that I just don't need anymore. But I'll leave these on here. I guess I'm not being as cutthroat as I thought I was going to be. That's okay. Here we have some things that I already have. So I have this Fussy gloss bomb, and I really like it. I have this Refi brow sculpt, and I really like it. I also have these lip balms. I have this lip balm. I don't think it's worth it, just an FYI. I'm going to use it up, and it is fun, and it smells delicious, but it's not super hydrating, so I wouldn't get it again. I really like this hangover pillow balm. I have the mango one, but the watermelon one is definitely calling to me. I think I probably have a bunch of lip balms on here, yeah, because I was getting dry lips, apparently. And I'm going to take off the Pro Kisser. And I'm going to take off the lip butter. I'm going to leave on this Westman Atelier Squeaky Clean Liquid Lip Balm. These sound amazing. I think they're like lemon scented, and the colors are unique. Like I said, I'm such a fan of a glossy balm. And so these are a high-end glossy balm that I would buy this one before I would buy like the YSL one, for example, because I think that this formula seems a lot more exciting than the YSL one. And I would be excited to try it out. Again, that would be something I either save up for, or, you know, it makes sense fitting my budget. But I would be happy to try that out, and I'm going to leave it on. I'll leave on these Makeup Forever ones just because I guess these are colors that were intriguing to me. But yeah, I have to reiterate again that these are expensive pencils, especially they can be lip eyebrow, so they are multi-use, but they are expensive. So they wouldn't be something that, nothing on this wish list is a need item, but it would be something, again, that I'd be happy to try out and add to my collection as somebody who is, you know, a makeup enthusiast and, you know, collector to a certain point where I do find it fun to try out new formulas and play around with innovative makeup. And yeah, that actually looks like it's the end of my loves list. This is definitely long enough that I do not need to go through and add things on that are more intriguing to me now. But it's very funny to see what was on here from all these years, and that I'm keeping a lot of things on here that are pretty old, and they still intrigue me. I think the takeaway for me is definitely that I'm glad that the takeaway for me is that I'm glad that I have a more healthy relationship with my wish lists, in the sense that just because something's on there doesn't mean I have to think about it all the time. I put it on there so that I can remember, oh, this was intriguing to me at one point. But I can also go back and edit it. I can very easily take things off, add things in. And it's more so just like a living document. It's a little collection of things that are intriguing and things that I might want to check out. But I don't have to take it too seriously. I don't have to obsess over it or think about it all the time. And I think that's a much more healthy relationship with my Sephora loves list than I have had in the past, where it's been like, I just add all these things and I lust and yearn after them. And I'm glad to be in a little bit of a better place, a place that I feel more comfortable with when it comes to shopping and having a wish list in general. So I hope that this was just kind of interesting maybe, and I had a couple of things to say about consumerism and my mindset on buying, especially beauty items. That's it. I'm going to go eat my dinner now. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. Feel free to subscribe, comment down below, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.